Ravens Nation, brace yourself because the bomb just dropped. Arthur Maulet's departure caught many by surprise and could completely change the Ravens' defensive plans for the upcoming season. What seemed like a sure piece in the roster has now become a question mark, and this decision opens the door for even bigger moves within the team. If you thought the Ravens' offseason was going to be quiet, think again. Releasing Maulet wasn't just about cap space. It was a clear signal that Baltimore has bold plans to strengthen the roster. What's coming next? Who can step in to replace this key piece in the secondary? Stick with me until the end because I'll break down every single detail for you. Go Ravens. You know, when a team needs to make adjustments to stay competitive, that's exactly what the Ravens did by releasing Arthur Maulet. The NFL salary cap works like a safe with limited space, and to sign or retain important players, sometimes tough sacrifices must be made. By cutting Maulet, Baltimore saved $2.25 million, a sum that immediately helped secure key deals, like the re-signing of fullback Patrick Ricard and the blockbuster signing of wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. It wasn't an easy decision, but it was necessary to keep the team strong and ready for the next season. Maulet's exit wasn't exactly shocking. After an outstanding 2023 season, where he took over as a starting slot corner and became a secret weapon on defensive blitzes, expectations were high for him to continue playing a key role. However, 2024 was a nightmare. Injuries limited him to just 3 games, significantly reducing his impact on the field. When a player can't contribute the way they once did, especially on a team that needs every dollar to build a championship-caliber roster, moves like this become inevitable. Still, you can't overlook the impact Maulet had on the Ravens' defense. In 2023, he was a crucial part of Mike Macdonald's scheme, pressuring quarterbacks, forcing turnovers, and bringing a physical edge to the secondary. His performance earned him a 2-year contract last offseason, but the harsh reality of the NFL is that things can change fast. If a player can't stay healthy and productive, teams have to make tough choices to remain competitive. That's exactly what happened here. With Maulet gone, the Ravens must now find a new solution at slot corner. And if there's one name that stepped up in his absence, it was Marlon Humphrey. How did this impact the defense? Arthur Maulet arrived in Baltimore without much hype, but he quickly became a key defensive piece. In 2023, when Darius Washington went down early in the season, Maulet stepped up and delivered big time. He brought aggressiveness, speed, and intelligence to the defense, especially in surprise blitz packages. It was one of the best years of his career, racking up tackles for loss, sacks, and even an interception. His performance was so impressive that the Ravens rewarded him with a 2-year contract extension. But the NFL can be cruel, and 2024 was a disaster for Maulet. Injuries kept him off the field for most of the season, limiting him to just 3 games. When a player is sidelined for too long, it gives others a chance to step up. That's exactly what happened, and by the time Maulet was ready to return, the defense had already adjusted without him, with his contract weighing on the salary cap and the team needing reinforcements in other areas. His release became a logical move. Still, you can't ignore what he did in 2023. Maulet was a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, showing up in crucial moments with big tackles and explosive plays. His style of play fit perfectly within Baltimore's aggressive defensive mindset, and his absence in 2024 was noticeable. But the NFL waits for no one, and when a player can't stay healthy and productive, the team has to move on. And that's exactly what Baltimore did, finding solutions within the roster. One of the biggest reasons the secondary remained strong was Marlon Humphrey, who had a spectacular comeback season. How did he reinvent himself in 2024? The 2023 season was rough for Marlon Humphrey, battling injuries. He couldn't play at the elite level Ravens fans were used to seeing. But when 2024 arrived, Humphrey bounced back in spectacular fashion. With Maulet out and adjustments in the secondary, he split his time between the slot corner role and outside coverage. This adaptation showcases versatility, making him an even more valuable asset for Baltimore's defense. The numbers speak for themselves. Humphrey led the AFC with 6 interceptions and earned first-team All-Pro honors for the second time in his career. His presence on the field provided stability and aggression, helping the Ravens maintain a high level of defensive play despite the constant changes. His ability to lock down any receiver, whether in the slot or on the outside, was crucial to keeping Baltimore's defense among the league's elite. This secondary restructuring proved that the Ravens have the talent to overcome adversity, but also made one thing clear: cornerback depth is still a major need. Even with Humphrey playing at an elite level, Brandon Stevens' departure to the Jets and Maulet's release create gaps in the roster. Baltimore's defense is known for being one of the most physical and dominant in the NFL, and to keep that standard, the team needs more depth in the secondary. With so many changes, the Ravens must act fast to reinforce the cornerback position. Will they go after a free agent veteran or already have a draft strategy in place? All right, we've covered a lot so far, But before we continue, I noticed that you haven't liked this video yet. That's super important to help YouTube keep recommending my content to you. So, go ahead and smash that like button. It's free and helps a lot. Thanks. Now, let's keep going. Even before releasing Arthur Maulet, the Ravens knew they needed to reinforce the cornerback position. Brandon Stevens' departure to the Jets was a tough blow, as he'd been a reliable piece of the defense. Now, with two key losses in the secondary, it's clear that Baltimore must look for alternatives. The problem is that free agency doesn't always offer quality options at an affordable price, making the draft a much more appealing alternative. The Ravens are known for being strategic in the draft, always targeting players who fit their defensive scheme. With the 27th overall pick, Baltimore could find a versatile cornerback capable of playing both in the slot and in outside coverage, helping fill the gap. Mike Macdonald's defense demands physical, fast, and intelligent players, and finding someone with those traits will be essential to maintaining the secondary's high level. The big challenge is making the right pick. College players don't always adjust to the NFL level quickly, and the Ravens can't afford to wait too long for development. That's why the team may look for a player with experience in aggressive coverage and strong game-reading skill. The need is clear, and Baltimore can't afford to miss on this decision. And if the draft is the answer, who are the top prospects the Ravens could target? Some standout players from the Combine could be the next big name in Baltimore's defense. If the Ravens decide to invest in a cornerback in the draft, a few names stand out. In 2024, Baltimore selected Nate Wiggins in the first round and has already shown potential to be a great player. Now, in 2025, the team could repeat the strategy and further strengthen the secondary. Two viable options are Jody Barron from Texas and Maxwell Harrison from Kentucky. Both had impressive performances at the scouting combine and possess the versatility the Ravens need. Barron is an extremely dynamic player who can line up in both the slot and outside coverage. His game awareness and speed make him a dangerous defender, especially in man-to-man situations. On the other hand, Harrison is a physical cornerback with quick reaction time and the ability to contest deep passes. Both fit the Ravens' profile and could be strong first-round selection. The question now is, will the Ravens prioritize a cornerback in the draft, or will they focus on other positions first? The team has other needs, such as the offensive line, and might wait until later rounds to pick a corner. However, with two key departures in the secondary, addressing this position early in the draft makes a lot of sense. Now, with everything we discussed, it's clear that the Ravens are going through a defensive restructuring. Maulet's release freed up cap space, but also created a gap that needs to be filled. The draft could be the solution, but will Baltimore find a right player to keep its defense among the league's best? Now, with everything we've discussed, it's clear that Arthur Maulet's departure wasn't just a random roster cut. It was a strategic move by the Ravens to free up cap space and prepare for new acquisition. His time in Baltimore had brilliant moments, but injuries ultimately played a major role in the team's decision. As a result, the secondary needs reinforcement, and the draft could be the key to filling this gap. The big question now is, will the Ravens take a chance on a young talent in the draft, or will they seek an experienced name in free agency to bolster the defense? If you also believe that Baltimore needs a worthy replacement to keep the defense among the league's elite, drop your thoughts in the comments and show how crucial this position is for the team. We can't let a wrong decision impact the future of our defense. See you next time, Ravens Nation.